Let us now formalize what is the inverse function with a definition. So, definition, let f be a bijective function. Then there is only one f minus 1, okay, inverse function, such that, well, let's see, f minus 1 maps elements living in the set y, which is the range of f, into the domain of f, which is now the range of this thing, f minus 1, okay? And for every element y, which lives in this set, it is mapped into the number f minus 1 of y as this symbol. And this thing here is an abbreviation for what? Well, let's see. Solution x of f of x is equal to y. So you just, this function, let's analyze carefully. This function here, x on these elements, y, gives these numbers here with this form. And this number, this thing here, is an abbreviation for this number, the solution x of this equation, just like we saw previously, okay? And this inverse obeys two key properties, where, I'm going to recall them, so to put everything into a single definition, f minus 1 of f of x is equal to x, and f of f minus 1 of y is equal to y for every x and every y living in big y, in big X and big Y, okay? So this is the main, everything you need to know about inverses now is contained into this definition, okay? Now, you see, the starting function f maps elements from x into elements in y. And usually when you have f, it's a function that is given to you explicitly. So it either gives you a formula, and that formula contains the recipe, the procedure that you must follow to assign elements from the domain into the elements in the range. Okay? So this is our starting thing, the explicit procedure or formula. Okay? But now notice about f minus 1. What is the procedure here? The procedure is not given to us explicitly. It's implicit into this thing, because this thing is just tells you that you have to find the solution x of this equation. Notice that y is fixed here, so we have to solve this equation for x. But this definition does not tell you how to solve it. It just tells you to solve it. Okay? So what this means is that the procedure, the sequence of steps that you must follow to solve this thing, okay, is exactly what the recipe, the procedure of f minus 1 is. Okay? So the procedure for f minus 1 is that your strategy to solve this thing. And it is implicit here. Okay? So you have to find it. There might be many ways to solve this thing. Well, but we'll see in examples, okay, the following ideas. When you attempt to solve this thing, several things can happen. We'll see examples where, while attempting to solve this equation, you actually find an explicit formula for this thing. So you have an exact sequence of steps for this thing. We'll see this in next video. Okay? Another thing that can happen is that you cannot find that sequence of steps. In that situation, what you can do is just what you did previously. You just guess the answer for some specific y. You just guess the answer, solve it by guessing, and you have the inverse for that specific value. Okay? In this case, you don't have a formula, but you can keep on guessing. You specify y, you guess the answer, well, you get an x, so you have a value for this thing, and so on. Okay? Well, this might be tedious, but you can also use a computer to do it for you, to find the solutions for this thing. Finally, another thing that can happen is that, well, you cannot find the formula for this thing. You find that it's too tedious to simply keep on guessing for every y that you choose, guessing what the solution x is. Well, another thing that you can do is just do nothing. Okay, you just do nothing. You leave the formula just like this, like you find here, but instead you are going to find properties, you seek properties for this inverse through the equation. We will see this extensively. In fact, this is probably the best idea out of these three ideas, rather than find a formula, rather than guessing for every single time you need an evaluation, is just to do nothing and leave it as is, this thing here, and to seek properties for this thing. Okay? And we will see this many times throughout this course. Okay? So let's now see these three cases with examples. Okay? Let's move on.